I remember the way his hand felt in mine, its warmth a familiar comfort, a routine almost 7 years. We had built a life, Mark and I, a small apartment, a dog named Buster. Dreams of a future that seemed so clear, so tangible. Then one day the colors started to fade, or maybe I just stopped seeing them. Maybe I was looking for something brighter, something sharper, a different kind of excitement. I told myself it was not his fault, it was not my fault, it was just life evolving, people changing. But that was a lie, a convenient excuse for a choice. I made a deliberate step off the path we had carefully laid out. It started subtly, a glance, a shared laugh, a lingering touch that was not Mark's. It was David, a new colleague, charismatic, confident, with eyes that saw something in me. I felt Mark had stopped seeing, or perhaps I had stopped showing. It was a dangerous game. I knew that intellectually I understood the lines I was about to cross. But the thrill, the novelty, the sudden surge of feeling alive again, it was intoxicating. I craved it. I chased it. I justified it, telling myself it was harmless. Just a flirtation, a fleeting moment of attention that would pass. But it did not. It escalated from coffee to lunch to late-night calls when Mark was asleep beside me, oblivious, trusting, and I was there in the darkness. My heart pounding. My breath held my voice. A whisper, weaving a web of deceit that grew thicker with every passing day. The guilt was a heavy cloak, sometimes suffocating, sometimes a distant hum in the background of my newfound excitement. I learned to compartmentalize, to wear different masks. One for Mark, one for David, one for myself. When I was alone, staring at my reflection and hating what I saw, I told Mark. I was working late, or meeting friends, or visiting my sister. The lies came easily, too easily. They slipped off my tongue, like well-rehearsed lines in a play where I was the villain and the victim. All at once, David offered an escape, a fantasy, a temporary reprieve from the mundane reality I had allowed our relationship to become with Mark. He made me feel desired, seen, understood in a way I convinced myself Mark no longer did. But that was another lie, another justification to soothe my conscience, to rationalize my betrayal. The first time we kissed, it was electric, forbidden, a jolt that both thrilled and terrified me. I felt a rush of adrenaline, a sense of freedom, but also a profound shame, a deep, aching sadness for the man I was hurting. The man who loved me unconditionally, who believed in me completely. And I was breaking his heart piece by piece without him even knowing. The secrets became a burden, a heavy weight on my soul. Every laugh with Mark felt like a betrayal. Every tender moment a sharp reminder of my hypocrisy. I started avoiding eye contact. I pulled away from his touch. I became distant, withdrawn, lost in a world of my own. Making a world where I was living a double life, constantly on edge, constantly afraid of discovery. The fear was relentless. It was a constant companion gnawing at me, whispering doubts, filling my head with worst-case scenarios. What if he finds out? What will I do? How will I explain this? How will I live with myself? The inevitable came, not with a bang, but a whimper, a missed text message, a screenshot, a careless oversight, a fragment of my secret life. Exposed. Mark found out. He did not rage. He did not shout. He just looked at me with a pain so profound, so heartbreaking, it shattered whatever remained of my self-respect. His eyes held a question, a plea, a brokenness that spoke volumes without a single word. Why he wanted to know why, and I had no answer. No good answer. Nothing that could justify the devastation I had wrought. I tried to explain. I mumbled excuses about feeling lost, about needing something different, about not knowing what I wanted. But they all sounded hollow. even to my own ears. They were just words attempting to cover the ugly truth that I had been selfish, that I had been cruel, that I had been a coward, incapable of confronting my own dissatisfaction within our relationship. I chose the easy path, the destructive path, the path of deceit. The aftermath was brutal. The unraveling of a life we had carefully constructed, years of shared memories, shattered trust, broken beyond repair. Buster, the dog. Even he seemed to sense the shift, the sadness, the end of an era. I moved out. I packed my belongings into boxes, each item a reminder of what I had lost, what I had destroyed. Mark deserved so much more than what I had given him, than the pain I had inflicted. He deserved honesty, loyalty, respect. I gave him none of those things. In those final months, David, he was there, initially supportive, trying to pick up the pieces of my broken life. But the thrill was gone. The magic evaporated, replaced by the harsh light of reality, the weight of my choices. It became clear that what we had built was on a foundation of lies and secrets, not genuine connection. It could not last. It did not last. He moved on. I was left alone with the wreckage of my own making. The silence was deafening, the emptiness palpable. I spent countless nights staring at the ceiling, replaying every moment, every lie, every regret. The what-ifs haunted me. What if I'd been honest? What if I had communicated my feelings to Mark? What if I had tried harder to fix what was broken instead of seeking solace elsewhere? The regret is a bitter pill, a constant reminder of the person I became, a person I barely recognized. It taught me a harsh lesson about integrity, about self-worth, about the value of true partnership. A lesson learned through immense pain, both mine and Mark's. It taught me that fleeting excitement cannot replace deep, enduring love, that trust once shattered is nearly impossible to mend, and that true happiness comes not from chasing superficial thrills, but from nurturing and cherishing the relationships that truly matter. I carry the scars of that betrayal, not just the pain of losing Mark, but the pain of losing a part of myself, the part that was innocent, trusting, honest. Look back and I see a younger, more naive version of myself, a person who thought she could have it all without consequences, a person who prioritized momentary gratification over long-term commitment and devotion. It was a profound mistake, a devastating error in judgment. I learned that relationships require work effort, open communication, and a willingness to confront difficulties head-on, not run away from them. I learned that honesty, even when it is painful, is always the best policy, that true love is built on a foundation of mutual respect and unwavering trust, and that betrayal is a poison that contaminates everything it touches. I still think of Mark. Sometimes I wonder how he is, if he found happiness, if he ever forgave me. I hope he did. I truly hope he did, for his sake. I hope he rebuilt his life with someone who understands the true meaning of fidelity and love for myself. I am still learning, still growing, still trying to be a better person, to make amends with the past, to live with integrity and truth. The journey is long and the path is not always clear, but I walk it with the weight of my past choices, shaping my future, guiding me towards a more honest and authentic existence. I hope one day I can truly forgive myself for the pain I caused, for the trust I broke, for the love I squandered. It is a long road to redemption, but I am walking it every single day, trying to learn, trying to heal, trying to grow from the ashes of my mistakes. I know now that true intimacy is not about grand gestures or fleeting passions, but about the quiet, consistent effort of building a life together, brick by painstaking brick, with honesty and unwavering commitment. It is about showing up for each other even when it is difficult, especially when it is difficult. It is about choosing love every single day, even when the colors start to fade and the routine begins to feel mundane. It is about remembering why you fell in love in the first place and fighting to keep that flame alive. It is a lesson I learned the hardest way possible, and it is a lesson I will carry with me always.